Okay, guys. Get everybody. Good afternoon. The Memphis Landmarks Commission is hereby called to order for its regularly scheduled meeting of June the 25th, 2026. My name is Cindy Gribich Tucker, and I am the chair of the commission. Mr. Brett Ragsdale serves as the executive secretary of the commission. Mr. Ragsdale, may I have a roll call?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Gill? Here. Ms. Johnson? Here. Ms. Tolbert?
Here.
Ms. Wall? Here. Mr. Winter? Here. Chair Tucker?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The Memphis Landmark Commission and the local historic district provisions are established to ensure preservation of structures that are of historic value to Memphis. Our function is to preserve significant resources, enhance community pride, and foster civic beauty, and ensure compatibility within designated historic districts. The Commission is authorized to review projects and determine their appropriateness based on their design review guidelines. At this time, I would like to swear the staff in. You may remain seated. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. May I get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Secretary, please provide us a secretary's report if there is one, and then explain the procedure for this meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have a secretary's report, so I'll go into the procedures. I will introduce each case as listed on the agenda. Copies of the agenda are found on the right podium. For each case, staff of the Division of Planning and Development will give a presentation. At the conclusion of the staff presentation, the applicant will have a 5-minute to present their case. After the applicant's presentations, the commission will hear first from those speakers in support of the application, then from those speakers in opposition to the application, and the speakers will have 3 minutes each. And then finally, the applicant will have a 3-minute period to provide rebuttal. These times do not include time for questions from or answers to the commission. The chair may provide additional time, provided both sides are given an equal amount of additional time. All parties who wish to provide testimony to the commission will be sworn in by the chair. If a member of the audience wishes to provide testimony in support of or in opposition to a particular case on today's agenda, he or she will need to fill out a speaker's cards for the record. Speaker's cards are available at the front podium. Once filled out, speaker's cards can be submitted to any DPD planner at the left podium. We do not need speaker's cards from the applicants since their names are already part of the record. After all parties have been heard, the commission will close the public hearing, make a motion, and then deliberate on the case. All motions made by this commission will be made the affirmative. The bylaws governing the commission will require the affirmative vote of a majority of the attending members to approve an application. The commission may also vote to hold an application for a period of 1 month. Madam Chair, I submit that all cases have been filed in proper order. All applicants have been notified of this hearing, and all notice requirements have been fulfilled.
Thank you. At this point, the commission will establish a consent agenda. To establish the consent agenda, the secretary will call out each eligible case. If any members of the audience or the commission objects to a case being placed on that agenda, he or she should do so by a show of hands when the secretary reads the case. Once the consent agenda is established, the commission will vote on all cases placed on the agenda as a whole and will not hold individual public hearings on each case. Mr. Secretary, which items on our agenda are eligible to be placed on consent?
Item number 1, COA 2026-047, 1059 Bruce Street in the Cooper Young Historic District. Item number 3, COA 2026-058, 985 Bruce Street in the Cooper Young Historic District. And item number 4, COA 2026-060, 1673 Kendall Avenue in the Glenview Historic District.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as established by the secretary?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. I would like to remind the commissioners that by voting on the consent agenda, he or she affirms that he or she has read the staff report and is in full agreement with the conditions. Mr. Secretary, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Gill?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Tolbert?
Yes.
Ms. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Winter?
Yes.
Chair Tucker?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. If you are here for any of those cases just listed on the consent agenda, you have been approved. You do not need to remain at the meeting, but are welcome to stay for the remainder of the cases. At this point, I would like to state that the minor COA applications as listed on the agenda have been reviewed and approved by the Commission. The Commission will now continue with the regular hearing of the major COA applications as listed on the agenda. Mr. Secretary, please call the first case.
Item number 2, COA 2026-052, 979 North Willette Street in the Valentine Evergreen Historic District.
Is the applicant present? Okay, could you come to the podium, please? Yes, ma'am. Can you state your name and address?
My name is Adiz Nati, and the address of the property is 979 North Willette Street.
Okay, do you live there?
No, ma'am.
Could you also put your regular address? State your regular address, home address?
Oh, where I live is actually Nashville, Tennessee.
That's okay.
Okay, it's gonna be 100 Heron Point Drive, Nashville, Tennessee 37214, apartment 708.
Okay, can you raise your right hand? I need to swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have you seen the staff report?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in agreement with the staff report, or do you want to discuss?
So I would like to discuss it.
Okay, wait 1 second. Can we see the staff report? We'll look at it and then we'll
Sure,
get back
I
to
have
you.
it here. Okay.
Good afternoon, Margot Payne with DPD. This is a craftsman-style bungalow built in 1925 in Valentine Evergreen. The applicant is proposing to repair the original details, including the wood soffit and fascia and exposed rafter tails, and repair the concrete porch and also add a wrought iron or painted metal railing. They're also proposing to paint the exterior brick using the colors shown here. Everything proposed meets the guidelines except for the painted brick. Guidelines are pretty clear about prohibiting painted brick except for in extreme circumstances. And while there are a few bricks missing and some major staining, it doesn't warrant painting of the entire structure. We're recommending approval with 5 conditions, which include that the brick remain unpainted, that the other materials be repaired in kind, the railing be metal or wrought iron, and the option to replace the front door with an appropriate craftsman-style door. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Staff have questions? Questions for staff? Don't have any questions for staff? Okay. Go ahead and make your statement.
Thank you. First, I'd like to start. English is not my first language.
It's okay.
So X and Y's, if you guys have any questions, about what I said, you can ask me again and I'll repeat it. And second, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to read it off the paper, which I would not if it would be my first language, but I kind of don't want to.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. First off, I'm representing today's Memphis properties. I wanted to thank you all for your time and your detailed staff report. I wanted to state clearly that I fully agree with conditions 2 through 5 regarding the wood windows, trim, porch, and door. We're completely committed to repairing and preserving these historical features in kind. However, regarding condition number 1, I would like to request a special exception to paint the brick exterior using proposed earth tones. The current condition of the brick, I'm very glad you guys have the pictures here. The current condition of the brick is very bad. There are big cracks, missing bricks, and bad repairs from the past. Every time it rains, water goes deep into these walls, deep into these damaged walls, and this will cause vast damage to the house. We're not asking to paint just for looks, but protect the structure from water damage. We're willing to commit to using specialized, highly breathable mineral or lime-based paint coating that will allow, that will not harm the historical brick. Due to these extreme circumstances, I would ask the Commission to approve painting, or alternatively, to allow us to work directly with the staff for a site visit
questions? Any kind of discussion?
Could you clarify what you meant by lime-based paint?
So there is certain type of paint that is not very thick and heavy, and I was talking to my representative in Sherwin-Williams. I can also bring the specific product or number from her for your approval later on, but there's some different type of painting that you can use, and some of them are, good for the brick and will not prevent it.
So masonry appropriate
ma'am.
paint. Okay.
And what was the color that you were going to paint?
So I added the picture.
Oh, that's it.
But honestly, if you guys are approving specific color or not, we will be very flexible with the choice of color. It's less important for us what exactly shade or color will be. More importantly, cover the way it looks right now. It's not in a good condition, and due to our contractor, even pressure wash will not make it go away. So seems like it to look good and to be good, and the natural protection coat that brick has is no longer exist in this property. This property was neglected for years and years. I assume you can see it in the pictures, but if you don't think so, we would even like to see one of you guys on site if that's an option.
Okay. Good question.
Yes. So you said there are issues with water intrusion and things like that, but you are planning to repair the brick first in the mortar, correct?
Sure, yeah, there's some bricks that are missing, so we will have to fill it out somehow, hopefully with a brick, but if not, so with some material that will match out. And we will obviously pressure wash it. And as I told Marga before, if it will look good after pressure washing, me personally, I love brick color too. We have properties we kept the brick on. On this one, it really seems like it needs to be painted, so we will definitely fix it first, pressure wash it, and then we will paint over the damage and dirt.
Have you attempted to tuck point the brick?
I'm sorry.
Have you attempted to tuck point and repair the brick already?
Put the mortar back in?
Yeah.
I can't understand. Can you repeat the question?
Have you attempted to repair the brick and the mortar already?
Not yet. We haven't touched the exterior of the house prior to this commission. I didn't want to do anything to the house.
And you know
before.
what we say when we say tuck point or mortar, correct? Do you know what that is?
No, ma'am. Or I do know when I don't understand. I'm sorry.
It's to repair.
Yeah, we're gonna repair it, yes.
Right.
Most definitely, but I didn't want to touch any of the exterior before coming here and asking for permission to do
And
so.
thank you. That was the
Yeah,
right thing to do.
thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
And I think what maybe a consideration would be, could you attempt to repair the brick and the mortar first before attempting to paint it and see if that addresses the water concerns? Because that's the point behind repairing the brick and the mortar. Tuck pointing is the technical term for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can repair the brick and the mortar to where it's waterproof again, you don't need paint. And I think that would be the preferred approach from the neighborhood and from the historical preservation perspective to maintain the original color and character of the brick and the mortar.
And the breathability of
Yes.
the brick too. Once you paint it, that's forever. You have to keep painting it forever.
You are
Yeah.
very right, and that's why we normally don't tend to do that, because we also don't
Yeah.
want to maintain all this painting all the time. But what I'm saying right now is after talking and discussing with our contractor, he told us that he's not going to see how we can get out of this situation and make it look good and go back to big, because really there is nothing you can do to protect it like it would be new or something like that.
Yeah, I understand that. And the point behind repairing again, you use the word tuck pointing, is to fix the problems that exist with where there are holes, whether it's mortar or replacing the brick. And then that becomes a permanent solution, and you don't need a paint, which has to be reapplied. And I think one request would be, could you consider doing that first and then seeing if paint is still necessary? Because I think you'll find that a good mason can repair the brick to the point where it is waterproof again.
So
Or at least,
sorry.
no, just, and I should not have said the word waterproof, to where it functions properly. properly, but water does get through brick on purpose, and it comes down in the cavity, so it's okay. But my point is that there's a process that the brick and mortar can be repaired, and maybe that would be something that should be attempted before moving all the way to painting.
And do you know that, because there's a lot of other bad stuff going on there too.
Yeah.
Do you know for sure that that's all coming through the brick, or is it coming from the ceiling, or dripping down from someplace else?
Okay, I'll be honest, this property is not beautiful or good in any way. Mostly everything is gonna need to be replaced in it. So the concrete, the wood, the fascia, everything is very rotten. That's why, I don't even think these pictures are the worst you guys could see. It's definitely
But I think that's where our points are
looking
right now.
worse than in pictures. But for your concern for filling it out, most definitely we'll do that first, yes. But this is not the only problem we're facing. Pressure wash will not make everything go away, will not take whatever happened, all the damage that already has been done it's not gonna be fixed by us filling those holes, which we're obviously gonna do. We will make sure it's all like we're filling it out and making it look good again, but it's not gonna fix the damage that already been done, and we're just hoping to preserve it. Also, first for us not to be doing it every 2 to 5 years. All these replacements are very costly. Contractors' works are very costly. So we were hoping to cover it with something that will protect the brick. We will add gutters too. So we will, because we don't know really if it came from the roof. We don't know if it came from
Well, I think that's
where.
kind of the point too, is if you fix the mortar, if you fix the roof and all the other things that are, I'm not an architect, but if you fix those things first, because you're gonna have to anyway,
Sure.
then come back and wait and see if monsoon comes and water comes in or whatever. Then come back and then maybe reappraise that as far as, deciding if it's.
The damage already been done to the brick, and also.
What other damage are you speaking about?
So
You said
the
can't
brick
be
itself,
addressed.
That's not
the
bad.
brick itself has that's what he explained to me, has natural kind of like protection coat on it. Like once you're building a new house with a new brick, it has like natural protection on it. Like the brick itself is very solid. So he said because of the
That's
weather.
not true.
No.
Brick's not solid.
He said it's not solid, maybe that's not the right word. Like
It is it's a porous material by nature.
it's breathing, yeah. And then he says the protection of it is gone. So if you'll pressure wash it, it's not gonna go away.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real honest. I'm not sure I trust your contractor's opinion. I mean, I haven't seen the
Do
building.
you
but,
think if we'll pressure wash it all out, you will just
well, I just want to understand when you say damage to the brick, are you?
water going into it?
Yeah, and that could be
Are we
addressed.
talking about the stains that you see on
Yes.
the
There are stains that I think the stains can be pressure washed, but some of them are, I don't know the word for them.
Are you trying to say some of the water has damaged some of the brick to the point where the brick
Yeah.
itself is crumbling away?
Crumbling,
And
thank you.
So I think that's what we're saying, like that where those locations are,
Replaceable.
that brick just needs to be replaced in full as opposed to trying to patch that particular brick. But if you replace that brick, or however many there are, with new brick in those places, then that new brick will have that protection again. And
Yeah,
therefore
maybe we can
we're
replace the
repairing.
bricks.
But I do understand the concern because this is a particular kind of style of brick. It's very modeled. I don't know, like my concern is more so the fact of how do you get a brick to match what's going on with this? Because this is this would be it. So it is going to depend on how much brick ends up needing to be replaced, which is going to happen regardless. And once that is seen and you see how it actually affects the aesthetic of the exterior,
Yeah,
then that's
then
something that's
reevaluate.
actually a little bit more telling as to, yeah, we get you. We probably may have to paint this because of the extent of replacement of the brick that you did.
And to what, when you said the modeling of it?
The gold with the red with the
Right.
dark tone, like that is
But
a hard
Alan-
brick to match.
Right, but you've got, to me, and as I'm a designer, I'm not an architect, but as a designer, that is so planned haphazard look that you can replace one of them if it's.
Oh, I'm not saying that can't happen.
But that
I'm
would
saying,
be
but there's
easier
a
than if it was
possibility it
a-
may not be as effective as.
But I would think that would be easier than something that was the same brick all the way through, to replace.
Yeah, I would argue that even if bricks are replaced, even a substantial quantity of them, it would still be preferred over painting the entire structure. I think that's what we're trying. What we're trying to point out is that brick is repairable, mortar is repairable. In the neighborhood's preference, your neighbors are really concerned about preserving the original material, and the neighborhood design guidelines do not allow you to paint the brick. And so if you have an opportunity to repair the brick, it's really, really important that you do that. And I don't think, at least in the pictures that are shown, that the brick is damaged to the point where it's not repairable. And so the point is you should really try to do that, because if you paint all of this brick, you're really going to upset the neighbors. And that's what we're trying to avoid. And you've asked us to give you, for lack of a better word, a variance to allow you to paint the brick. And in my opinion, there's not a reason to grant that. The brick can be repaired such that it can be waterproof, or at least, again, sorry I'm using that word, it can be performed as it's intended to be without an issue.
I honestly don't know if they're replaceable. I know we can put in where there is holes. I don't know if we can break and put new ones in, and if we'll do that, if it will all match, like the new brick with
You can
the
definitely
older.
do it. I would ask your contractor, and maybe that's something even
I can
be
try. I
beneficial
did
to
not
bring the
check,
contractor in,
honestly.
because it seems like if he knows terms such as tuck pointing and being able, like, this is a normal bit of work that all of
No,
us
I
are
haven't
familiar
checked
with
yet.
doing. Yeah, so I mean, I want to make sure that you understand just what it is that is being asked, and it really isn't as complicated as it seems like your contractor has implied to you.
Yeah,
to
that's
do.
what I'm trying to say too.
So what I think would be a good idea is that the contractor and you come to the staff, because several of them are also aware of how this process will go, and then you'll be able to make a clear assessment as to what it is that you can do and to the extent of how that would be able to do on it. Unless, I mean, it sounds like you know your contractor fairly.
Not necessarily him. I
Okay.
just didn't check that out. I will say I'm willing to cooperate and do what, as you guys saying. I will say if eventually we'll decide to paint it after we replaced it for like I don't want to say no reason, but I would like to try to avoid doing 2 times the same job, like to replace the brick to your liking and then to paint over it. So if you can, send somebody over if that's a possibility. I don't know if you guys are even doing it. I just wanted to offer that. If somebody can come physically and look at it and tell me, hey, this really can be repaired. So we'll go ahead and do our best to repair it. But if you'll say, no, okay, now I see what you're talking about, because now I can tell what he said. So that's the only
Is your
thing.
contractor, do you know if this person has ever worked in historic districts and worked on historic homes?
No, first time, and honestly, I'm new to Memphis as well. But not necessarily him. I wouldn't even mind
It's a
hire
different
somebody
thing.
else for the exterior. That's not a question that I even asked him. Like if he can replace the brick, I only asked him for the paint. And sometimes they do want to take the job, and I understand that. But that's what I'm saying. Let's not look at them wanting to take the job and get the money for it, and let's not look at me like my costs to redo it. That's what I'm saying. If one of you can come and confirm if that can be replaced, and I will do the one-time job, either replacing the brick, either painting the brick. I'm just trying to avoid doing both, and I will do whatever you guys are willing to.
You would still
You
have to do both. You
Yeah.
would still have to do
The
both.
brick and mortar has to be repaired no matter
Period.
what.
You
Whether
got
it
to.
remains brick and mortar or it gets painted, it has to be repaired no matter
Sure,
what.
but some I will repair. Also for it to look nice. If I'm not gonna paint over it, not just because I need to. Let's say I'm gonna replace what needs to be replaced, but also I'm gonna add some more to match it out because it's like new brick and older brick. So I guess I will need to add some more spaces where I need to change the brick, even though it's not necessarily needed everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair point. If she's going to eventually paint the brick, she doesn't need to match the brick
Right.
color as closely. But if the goal, as I think we're asking for her to match the original brick, it does take a little bit more time and probably some slightly additional cost to match the brick properly, tuck point it properly, with the intent of not painting over it. And I understand your point. It's a very good point about not having to do it twice. That's not our goal. And I think the goal is to make sure that the whole
So
goal
get
is,
a proper assessment of the condition of the home kind of
yeah.
thing.
I was going to ask staff, have y'all seen any additional photos to help assess the condition of the brick?
That are worse than this, actually?
No,
It looks so nice right here.
yeah, this
It
is
does.
just Google Street View. So this is what we were working off of, and then these are the photos
So
that
that's
were
the
sent.
side and the back of the house? Those are the sides and the back of the
And the
house?
front too, really the concrete is broken, the terracotta thing is
Okay.
gone. This house was built in the 30s,
Well, yeah.
and everything is, I want to say there's ever since, everything.
Well, I think that was discussed earlier. Some of the damage that you see in these photos are not because of the brick. Those are other things going on. There's water and other things.
Yeah, but also we cannot see here on these pictures where the brick is closer to the crawl space. That part is also in a bad condition on both sides. Again, these two pictures, I would post them on Zillow right away without painting the house.
Now, do you plan on living there?
No, ma'am.
You're gonna, is it gonna be a renter or a
Yes,
sell, are you gonna sell it?
It's a renter. We're gonna keep this property. We're not trying to make a quick flip. This is not our only property in Memphis. We're trying to make houses look good, but we're renting them out. We're aiming to hold them for many years to go. That's why I'm trying not to not to redo it every few years. We are not aiming for painting brick in our properties because that's costly
understand
for
the
us
maintenance.
and that's more maintenance for us. That's not something we want to do. But also we want to make sure we have a good tenant, and good tenant going for the nicer looking houses and not for the, and especially with this area, which is really depend on the street. So sometimes some of these areas are really great neighborhoods. We know the neighbors over there. We know Miss Jasmine and Mr. Brown, and we know the people that are living there, great people. But few streets away, it's getting really bad. So we're really want to be cautious on our tenant who we're going to choose to be our tenant, and the better looking and better condition the house is, the better tenant we're going to get in the end of the day. I don't know if that's none of your concerns, but that's what we're thinking of.
I'll tell you again, just based on the pictures we can see, I do not think that the justification is there for painting. My assumption is that your contractor said it's easier to paint it than it is to repair the brick, right? And I would just challenge him or her to go back and really look at it. And if they don't have a good handle on how to repair brick, there are other companies that can do that. Structural waterproofing and restoration
Sure,
is
and
a
I'll
great
hire
company.
somebody else.
Yeah. And what our charge is to try to protect the value of the neighborhood, and especially being from out of town, what I think we're trying to express to you is to make sure that you're really careful about what you do to the house, because the neighbors can get really upset about it, and we're trying to protect the neighborhood as a whole, their interests. And so I'm just trying to explain that to you so that you can try to be the best neighbor you can be. Does that make
They
sense?
specifically wrote the guidelines for us to.
Yeah.
Why don't we just, we all are in agreement, why don't we just take Margot's recommendations and vote on them? Don't you agree?
Well, I do. I just still want to recognize the fact that I know this is a weird thought because I believe both houses on both sides are painted on either side of this particular home. And this is the reason why this has now been a concern and why it's a little bit more being careful because of what has already occurred in the neighborhood. So don't think that this is something specifically.
I don't. I did not bring that up at all to this conversation because I didn't want to be that little kid saying, "Hey, but everybody else is doing it." But you put it right there. So I do want to say I will be surprised if any of these neighbors will come up and say, "We don't like brick to be painted because that's like 7 out of 8
Wow, look
is
at that
painted. I don't know if they asked for permission like I do, but it did happen. But I did not bring that to the conversation, but
No,
I'll be
but
surprised
I
if
just
they'll be
wanted to
mad.
make sure that you understand that we do recognize the position that it is, and that is, this is now has been the response because of what people have, bad actors that have done it in the past. So
Sure.
it's not, is,
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion.
Yeah. Motion to approve COA 2026-052-9791 Street.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, so right now we're gonna see if there's any discussion.
Sure.
Okay.
Do I go back?
You can, or you sit down right there in case we want to call you up. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Guys? Any more?
I'm sympathetic to the case, and I think the reason we spent so much time discussing it is because we want to be sensitive to the applicant, and also appreciative that they brought the question instead of just doing it. But I think we've had a lot of discussion about it, and I kind of stand where I last said.
I think it would be due if there was at least a true assessment of the condition of the brick before you move forward, because as you said, the first view was, what are you gonna do and what do I need to do to make the paint work? So now if the contractor could actually assess it for, how do we make this brick work and what is that task gonna be? And then that's some actual concrete data that can be made to make next decisions kind of things. Like, not against it, I've seen it, whatever, but let's make a conscientious effort to make sure we preserve what is left as much as possible.
I agree with that.
So I don't know if that's something that
I
can
agree
be
as well.
given, like come back after the fact and then have that as something that could be administratively reviewed and considered, and then she can move forward once that has been assessed, because totally capable people, but that's just my thought with it. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
If I could, what I would suggest, if that's the case, as Mr. Gill mentioned, we could approve it as condition. I think they always have the option to come back and ask for an alternative if there is good reason. I wouldn't want to put, there are a lot of things I think that we would be comfortable with as staff approving, but I think painting of the brick, I would rather that come back to the commission
Okay.
if there is a question about it, and have that assessment and additional information.
All right.
We can certainly give our opinion and look at it, and we will definitely do that. But so we might, if it's the will of the body, we could vote on approving as condition, and they always have the option of coming